This is Joanna Kishner for Department 31. I think you mentioned for Department 30, I think Mike Davidson had a very clear answer. I think the way he phrased it was very well, and I would concur with a lot of what he said, because I think you do have to take in consideration whether it's a woman or a male that has served this country. That is something that is very significant. One thing that your hypothetical didn't mention is what is the mental condition. Is there a mental condition issue? What's kind of the nature of the benefits? But I think you have to look at it. You have to look at it as a specific case. What you cannot look at it is what is written just on the motion that's before you. You need to look behind each case. Not only this case that you're talking about, but I think you have to look in every case. And particularly here, what you need to make sure that you're doing is you are finding the best possible solution for the global picture. I mean, what is in the best interest of this individual? Same thing if you have an issue, you said it's not murder. Well, if it's something that, too many parking tickets or a lot of other issues that can't have a warrant for an arrest, you can't take away someone's benefits. You can't take away someone's opportunity to have treatment merely because there may be an issue that's resolved. One thing you have to look at is, is that a valid warrant? I mean, that's an issue that we have to take into consideration. So in sum, basically, I think you have to look at it as you would have to look at most cases before you, and basically every case is on a case-by-case situation, and here, find a way to get a resolution that actually works for the individual and for other cases that may come before you. One thing I would just quickly disagree with Mr. Risman, I think we have to be cognizant of these issues. Right now, the legislature has designated these as civil-only cases. But what happens if down the road there is a shift so that there is a need for each of us to handle a broader base of cases? I think we have to have that breadth and depth of experience. I think we have to be willing to take on that challenge.
Thank you. Phil Dabney for Department 31. The Nevada legislature created a veterans court at the last legislative session. And in doing so, they pronounced that there is a need to look under the surface of the crimes committed by veterans to determine whether those crimes were caused by something related to their service for their country. And so in your hypothetical, we have to keep that in mind as a judge to determine, number one, this warrant that is coming from another jurisdiction, does it pertain to a crime that might have some relationship to the condition that the veteran is suffering because of his service or her service to the country, such as post-traumatic stress disorder. And then number two, we have to determine whether the treatment that this veteran is receiving in Nevada is related to treatment for that condition. And those are factors that I would certainly consider. I have experience in justice court sitting on both the drug court and the DUI court, which are both therapeutic courts that are very similar to the veterans courts, and I already have the experience in dealing with factors to determine how to deal with folks with drug problems and alcohol problems, so I can step into this role as well quite easily. Thank you.
Josh Kunis. I certainly think that anyone who has served our country, that needs to be taken into account in any decision for any case, as well as we as judges have to use common sense. The problem I have with your hypothetical is, and I think somebody on the Department 30 panel stated this, not a lot of facts there to really go by. But the way I would view this case, based on your hypothetical, is the way I would view any case. I want to know all the facts, the nature of the crime, what the warrant is for, what treatment the veteran is getting. Can we better serve the veteran here under AB 187? I would want to know all those things, and that's the way I would approach every case. Pleadings, facts, oral argument, I would want to know as much as possible before I render a decision.
If I may, my question was there any circumstances under which you would quash the warrant? I really didn't get an answer, but just so you know, right now I'm handling 3 of these matters for veterans who are in Nevada who have felony warrants in other jurisdictions. So although this is a hypothetical, it's a real situation and it's a growing problem.
And I'd like to thank everybody running for Department 31 for coming out here.